Beyond the boundaries of life, a woman's miraculous revival stunned doctors and loved ones.
My spirit came up out of my body in a very tremendous speed, and I could look down and see my body laying on the bed.
Just like her, others came back from the afterlife with daunting revelations.
Doctors said that he was in a vegetative state. Recent brain scans have indicated that he wasn't in a coma at all. His entire body was paralyzed. However, his brain was still able to reason and think like a normal person.
Some saw Jesus, while others even spoke to him.
I just wanted to share that I saw Jesus face to face.
These mysterious experiences and miraculous revivals of people that were declared deceased shocked everyone.
I just wanted to share that I saw Jesus face to face.
In February of 2018, Tina Hines suffered a cardiac arrest and was declared deceased for a total of 27 minutes. During this time, Tina experienced a profound otherworldly experience that left an indelible mark on her life. According to her, she saw a vision of a figure she identified as Jesus Christ, who appeared to her with glowing, radiant hands. What makes Tina's story even more extraordinary is that when she was revived, her first words were, "It's real." She repeatedly scrawled these words on a piece of paper, despite having a tracheostomy tube at the time, which made speaking difficult. Tina's experience has had an intense effect on her and those who have heard her story, as she describes it as a transformational and deeply spiritual moment. Her account has resonated with many and has been widely shared as a testament to the possibility of life beyond the physical realm.
The unbelievable rest and peacefulness of what I was experiencing was Jesus standing there with his arms open wide, incredible glow.
New identity.
Medical mystery out of Palm Springs. Navy veteran wakes up one morning speaking only Swedish, no memory of his past. Doctors have been trying to figure out exactly what's behind the transformation.
Michael Boatwright is an American man who gained notoriety due to a highly unusual and mysterious case. In 2018, he was found unconscious in his motel room. When he woke up in the hospital, he claimed to have no memory of his identity, or even how to speak English, which was supposed to be his native language. What makes this case even more enigmatic is that he was found with a host of personal identification documents and even a military ID, all identifying him as a U.S. citizen. Boatwright was diagnosed with amnesia, but his sudden transformation into someone with apparent amnesia who only spoke Swedish baffled medical professionals. He insisted that his name was John and that he was from Sweden, communicating in Swedish and claiming that he had no knowledge of English. Despite the efforts of medical professionals and investigators, the cause of Boatwright's amnesia and his sudden transformation into a Swedish-speaking man with no memory of his past remains unsolved.
It can be very challenging to figure out that the cause of somebody's sometimes very dramatic symptoms is actually psychological.
Emerging from silence.
First American TV interview with a man who lived essentially trapped inside his own body for about a decade of his life. He could see and hear everything around him, but he couldn't talk.
Martin Pistorius' story is a remarkable tale of resilience and triumph over extreme adversity. In 1988, at the age of 12, Martin fell into a mysterious illness that left him in a vegetative state. For more than a decade, Martin was trapped inside his own body, unable to move, communicate, or express himself. His life changed dramatically when, at the age of 25, he began to regain his consciousness. Martin's mind had been active all those years, but he was unable to convey this to the outside world. He was finally able to communicate using a computer, and he revealed his awareness and intelligence to his family and caregivers. Martin's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of determination. Despite being trapped inside his own body for over a decade, Martin never gave up hope. He went on to write a memoir, Ghost Boy, and became an advocate for individuals with locked-in syndrome and those with disabilities.
You must have overheard so many conversations.
Yes, many times. You get to see and hear things that you probably never would. Things like what people really think and how they really are when nobody is watching.
Trapped for decades.
Gentleman by the name of Ram Hubin, in a coma for 23 years. Doctors said that he was in a vegetative state. However, recent brain scans have indicated that he wasn't in a coma at all. His entire body was paralyzed. He was unable to speak. However, his brain was still able to reason and think like a normal person.
In a remarkable medical case, Ram Hoben, a Belgian man, was believed to be in a deep coma for 23 years following a severe stroke in 1983. Astonishingly, it was later discovered that he had been fully conscious throughout this period, suffering from a condition known as locked-in syndrome. This syndrome leaves a person awake and aware but completely paralyzed, unable to move or communicate. Ram's situation changed with the advent of a specialized scanning technique that detected his brain activity.
We put him in the PET scanner and the fMRI, and we saw his brain was functioning normally. So he was not vegetative, definitely not.
Allowing doctors to communicate with him using a letterboard. This breakthrough not only revealed his consciousness, but also highlighted significant advancements in medical technology and the importance of accurate diagnostic tools. The psychological impact on Ram was profound, with over 2 decades of isolation and inability to express his thoughts. Despite the challenges, his resilience and the support he received after the discovery are a testament to the human spirit. Final answer.
This accident took place back in 2013. This is 2023. You've been in a coma for the past 10 years.
The story of a man who supposedly woke up from a 10-year coma only to find out it was a prank raises several important considerations. The prank, intended to highlight the dangers of drunk driving, involved convincing the man that he had been in a coma for a decade. While the intention behind the prank may have been to deliver a powerful lesson, the method used is controversial and potentially harmful. The prank was meticulously planned to resemble a real-life medical scenario. The setting was a hospital room where Ray, the man who had passed out from drinking, found himself lying on a hospital bed. A friend, disguised as a doctor, entered the room and gravely informed Ray that he had been in a coma for an astonishing 10 years. Ray was left speechless and stunned by the shocking news. The weight of such a revelation was evident on his face as he struggled to comprehend the information. Moments later, it was revealed that the entire scenario was a ruse, and Ray was finally told it was just a prank.
He laughed a lot. He laughed a whole lot. He just thought man, you guys got me, man. Daggone, man, you got me. So I'm not sure that he learned a lesson.
Beyond the light.
My spirit came up out of my body in a very tremendous speed, and I could look down and see my body laying on the bed.
An American author gained prominence for her profound near-death experience, or NDE, and the extraordinary account she shared about her journey during that event. Her transformative experience began in 1973 when she underwent significant surgery, which led to her NDE. During her NDE, she described crossing into the afterlife, where she encountered a radiant being of light. This encounter filled her with an intense sense of love, understanding, and spiritual enlightenment. She received profound insights into the meaning of life, the connection among all beings, and the significance of love and service. Upon returning to her physical form, she felt a strong urge to share her experiences and the insights she had gained. In 1992, she published her book, Embraced by the Light, which became a bestseller and deeply resonated with many readers. While her story has been praised for its spiritual depth, it has also faced scrutiny regarding its authenticity. Morgue mystery. A chilling incident captured by CCTV in a Russian hospital morgue has left everyone stunned and intrigued. The footage reveals a man who was believed to be deceased, suddenly showing signs of life. What initially seemed like a gust of wind turned into a shocking scene as the man moved his arm and began to remove the white sheet covering his body. He then attempted to sit up, appearing disoriented and struggling to move. After a considerable effort, the man finally managed to stand up, seemingly regaining some strength. The whereabouts of this individual and the circumstances surrounding this event remain unknown. What makes this incident even more unsettling is that the tools intended for his autopsy were lying nearby on the table. Pastor's revival.
Celebrate Jesus! Jesus!
In a remarkable scene captured in South Africa, a pastor was seen attempting to bring a deceased man back to life in front of his family and a gathered crowd. The pastor began by offering a prayer and then called out the name of the lifeless individual. He engaged the crowd with his words before carefully placing his hand on the man's abdomen. In a moment that left onlookers in disbelief, the man slowly rose from the coffin, appearing disoriented but alive. The crowd erupted in a mix of shock and amazement as the man took his first steps back into the world of the living. Lost Identify.
She's locked in a year-long battle to prove she's not dead. Now, we first met her earlier this year after the government declared her dead.
In a situation that challenges the very fabric of bureaucracy, Marcina Pogorzelska, a woman from Brooklyn, has found herself in an extraordinary struggle. She recently marked the one-year anniversary of being pronounced deceased, yet she continues to fight tirelessly to prove that she is, in fact, alive. Despite having her documents and identification certificate, Marcina has been engaged in a perplexing and drawn-out court battle. The circumstances surrounding her situation are baffling, leaving many to wonder how such an oversight could occur. Her story highlights the complexities and challenges of correcting official records and the often frustrating process of proving one's own existence. Marcina's determination serves as a testament to her resilience as she navigates this unprecedented legal ordeal.
People look at me like either I'm not all there, or they look at me like, wow, this is like a Lifetime movie.
Second chance.
Mississippi man may have thought it was a nightmare, but when he woke up in a body bag, it was a real thing.
In an extraordinary turn of events, Walter Williams, a man from Mississippi who was once mistakenly declared deceased, has become a true symbol of the saying, "There's no such thing as second chances." This incredible story took a surprising twist when Walter reappeared, leaving his friends and family in utter disbelief. The saga began with a significant error, as medical professionals mistakenly assessed him to be gone from this world. However, Walter was very much alive and was discovered in the funeral home, a shocking revelation that turned heartbreak into relief. Following his unexpected discovery, he was promptly taken to the hospital, where he began his recovery journey. During an interview with CBS New York, Walter's family and friends expressed their astonishment and joy at his return.
The mortician, something wasn't right. His legs started moving. Seemed like he had more life in him again.
He was not dead, long story short. We definitely was not going to do anything to him. And
once you saw that he was.
Right.
Miraculous woman.
Polish woman is back home and doing fine after a nap turned unexpectedly dramatic.
At the age of 91, Janina Kolkiewicz settled down for what was meant to be a short nap, but instead of waking up in her own room, she found herself in an unexpected situation. Her physician, Dr. Lawa, had declared her to be gone, prompting her family to begin preparations for her memorial services. Papers were signed, and plans were set in motion to honor her memory. However, during a routine check, something remarkable happened. Janina awakened, bringing her loved ones and Dr. Lawa to a state of complete astonishment. The sheer shock of her return was felt by everyone involved. Imagine the surprise when Janina returned home, enjoyed a meal, and felt perfectly fine, as if nothing had happened. This incredible turn of events reminds us of the unpredictability of life and how quickly situations can change. Miracle Man.
I was almost dead, and they didn't think I would survive at all.
In December 2018, Scott Marr became known as the Miracle Man after experiencing a baffling medical journey that defied all expectations. Marr suffered a cardiac arrest and was rushed to the Nebraska Medical Center in critical condition. His situation rapidly worsened, and he fell into a deep coma, showing no signs of brain activity. Doctors made the heart-wrenching decision to declare him neurologically unresponsive and initiated preparations for organ organ donation. It appeared that Marr's life was hanging by a thread, and his family braced for the worst. But then, in an extraordinary turn of events, Marr began to exhibit a glimmer of consciousness and brain activity after 6 weeks in a coma. He started responding to verbal cues, leaving medical professionals astounded. In an even more remarkable development, Marr's family gave consent to have his breathing tube removed, and he miraculously recovered. The case of Scott Marr is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope.
What would you call what happened to you?
A miracle. Period. End of story.
Sleeping Beauty. Terry Wayne Wallace is known for a truly extraordinary event in the world of medicine. In 1984, at the age of 19, he was involved in a car collision that left him in a coma for 19 years. Terry's case is remarkable not only because of the duration of his coma, but also because of what happened afterward. Terry's family took care of him for almost 2 decades, believing he would never recover. But in 2003, to their astonishment, Terry suddenly emerged from his comatose state. He began speaking and interacting with those around him, despite missing nearly 2 decades of life's developments. The phenomenon was dubbed the Sleeping Beauty case and remains a subject of fascination and study in the medical community. While Terry's recovery was remarkable, it also posed questions about the nature of comas, the potential for long-term recovery, and the human brain's resilience. 19 Years Miracle. In 1988, Jan Grudzebski, a Polish railway worker, was struck by a train. This accident left him in a deep coma, with doctors giving him little hope of ever waking up. His family was told to prepare for the worst as the years went by. Remarkably, after 19 years of being in this comatose state, Jan Grudzebski regained consciousness in 2007. His awakening was a miraculous event that shocked the medical community and the world at large. During his 19-year coma, he remained unaware of the significant changes in the world, including the fall of communism in Poland, the rapid advances in technology, and the transformation of his own family. What was even more surprising was that even after 2 decades of being in a coma, Grudzebski could already speak and walk a little. Although he had to adapt to the world around him, he still rejoiced. Guardian's Touch.
When the nurse went to release the valve, she forgot to tighten the other valve first. And so I felt the something go up my arm, across my chest, and into my heart.
Scott shared an experience so profound that it left him with a deep longing to remain in the peaceful state he encountered. While lying on the operating table, he felt a mysterious presence moving through him, a sensation that traveled up his arm and into his heart. Suddenly, Scott found himself outside his own body, observing the surgery from above.
The next thing I knew, I was sitting above my body. It was the most incredible experience that anyone could experience.
In this out-of-body state, he noticed a figure sitting next to him. This presence communicated through thoughts rather than words, and Scott was overwhelmed with an extraordinary sense of peace. Even amidst the medical chaos, Scott felt an overwhelming calm, as if the presence beside him was a guardian angel. Then, he noticed a hand emerging from a cloud. Before he could reach for it, a voice said, "It is not your time. You have more things yet to do." The voice faded away, and the next moment, Scott was back in his body, lying next to his wife.
And I was reaching for the hand, and before I knew it, that arm pulled back and said, "It is not yet your time. You have more things yet to do."
Unbroken Soldier.
A remarkable, inspiring story of one Air Force veteran's sacrifice and resilience. In 2005, doctors gave Israel Del Toro a 15% chance of survival after his Humvee rolled over an IED in Afghanistan.
Meet DT, a remarkable individual with an inspiring story of resilience and determination. As a United States Air Force veteran and former Tactical Air Control Party operator, DT's life took a dramatic turn during his service in Afghanistan. In December 2005, DT was involved in an incident where his vehicle was struck by an IED. This incident left him with severe burns covering 80% of his body, and his survival was deemed unlikely. Yet, DT defied the odds and survived, enduring numerous surgeries and a long, challenging recovery. Despite the hardships, DT's unwavering determination to live a full life led him to make a remarkable decision. He re-enlisted in the Air Force in 2010, becoming the first 100% combat disabled airman to do so. His journey continued as he transitioned to the Air Force Wounded Warrior program, where he excelled in adaptive sports and became a Paralympic athlete, inspiring countless individuals with his resilience. Overcoming adversity. Bob Woodruff, a well-known American journalist, has captivated audiences with his compelling reporting and the remarkable challenges he has overcome. In 2006, while covering the war in Iraq, Woodruff experienced a life-altering event when an IED struck his vehicle, causing his brain to be majorly affected by it.
Bob first arrived here, he was in a semi-comatose state. He was not following command. He had one particular rock that was about $half in size that completely traversed from the left side of his neck to the right side of his neck. The real question was, what kind of individual will have at the end of this period?
This incident left him in a coma for 36 days, and his subsequent recovery was truly extraordinary. Following his coma, Bob Woodruff demonstrated remarkable resilience. With unwavering determination and the steadfast support of his loved ones, he embarked on a remarkable journey of healing and rehabilitation. His recovery not only inspired those around him, but also captured the attention of people worldwide. In a testament to his strength and dedication, Bob Woodruff made a successful return to journalism. His journey from recovery to resuming his career was not just a personal triumph, but also a source of inspiration for many. Motivated by his own experience, Bob and his wife Lee founded the Bob Woodruff Foundation. This organization is committed to supporting veterans and service members who have gone through similar experiences. It's a cause deeply personal to Bob due to his own ordeal.
Forever grateful to those that took care of me on that day and beyond. You know, this life-changing event reminds me every single day of the thousands of service members who have their own alive days.
Love and compassion.
Was by my bed, and I saw that light, and then I remember kind of looking at him. So I was like, okay, so I see this light, but I'm not dreaming.
Mary Jo Rapini shared a deeply moving account of her NDE, describing her journey through a tunnel and into a breathtakingly warm and loving space. She explained that the tunnel, which initially seemed narrow, expanded as she moved through it, embracing her with its comforting warmth. She described the space that awaited her as a place of profound peace and acceptance, filled with a soft, brilliant light and a gentle hint of pink. Throughout this experience, she felt a sense of being guided or held, as if she was in the care of something greater. Mary Jo also shared a powerful message from a voice she referred to as God. The voice told her that she still had more to accomplish, and that her purpose was to return and share even greater compassion and love with everyone. Though she was initially puzzled by this, given her dedication to caring for cancer patients, she understood the deeper meaning behind the message. It was a call to embrace life with even more kindness and empathy.
So you thought there's other stories from people where they thought they'd gone to heaven, that they're just hallucinating?
Had I seen them now, those patients who were telling me they were seeing angels, I would have embraced that and said, really? Let's talk about it. Tell me. Because they were telling me what God looked like.
Be united.
I believe I dozed off. I mean, we'd been driving long, and I think I maybe just nodded off at the wheel for a minute.
Jeff Olson's experience is a powerful blend of heartache and inspiration. His NDE occurred after a serious car collision in 1997.
But when I did that, the car swerved to the right. I overcorrected to the left, and I lost control of the car, and then it began to roll. And it rolled not off the road, but down the road at 75 miles an hour on the concrete.
which left him in a critical condition, including third-degree burns covering 40% of his body. His condition was so critical that he was clinically deceased for a short time, setting the stage for his extraordinary NDE. During this profound experience, Jeff described leaving his physical body and entering a realm filled with intense love, light, and a deep sense of unity. He was greeted by loved ones who had passed away and felt an overwhelming wave of compassion and acceptance. The light he encountered was unlike anything he had ever seen before. It was magnificent and radiant, leaving a lasting impression on him. This journey into the afterlife profoundly changed Jeff's outlook on life. It inspired him to share his story with others, leading him to become a motivational speaker and author. His experience not only transformed his own life, but also touched the lives of many who have heard his story. Radiant encounter.
And lying over in the bed with the sheet pulled up over its head was this body. I realized it was me because I recognized my fraternity ring, and it even had a chip on the black onyx because it was a Phi Gamma fraternity ring, and there wasn't any mistake. And I am utterly petrified. My massive denial has broken down. I suddenly realized that body is dead.
At the age of 20, Richie, a soldier in the U.S. Army, faced a severe illness that led to a profound experience. After being clinically deceased, his body was placed in a morgue, where he had an extraordinary out-of-body experience. During this experience, Richie described leaving his body and observing the hospital staff's efforts to revive him. He then found himself in a different realm, where he encountered various beings of light. These luminous entities radiated boundless love and understanding. Richie also met a powerful, radiant figure whom he identified as Jesus Christ. In the presence of Christ, Richie underwent a life review, during which he witnessed every moment of his life. He experienced the emotions and perspectives of everyone he had ever encountered, gaining a profound understanding of his journey. After this transformative experience, Richie returned to life and went on to become a doctor. He devoted his life to caring for patients, inspired by the compassion and light he had encountered during his time beyond the physical world. Ethereal light. Insight.
The only interesting catch was that Judge died when I was 1. My father in particular was just going crazy because I would come in and I would talk about what Judge, that was our nickname for him, what Judge and I had just done, what Judge had just told me. And there were things that as a 4-year-old I was telling my parents that there's no way I could have known unless Judge had actually told me himself. So now my father's beginning to realize, oh, so she sees dead people.
Mary shared a remarkable experience that stands out from others. Following a life-changing event, Mary found herself in a surreal realm, a place of immense love, light, and profound insight. As she entered this ethereal domain, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace, clarity, and interconnectedness. During her experience, she encountered a radiant light, a guide who shared knowledge with her. Mary realized that time and space, as we understand them on Earth, held no meaning in this realm. The past, present, and future coexisted simultaneously. She was also shown a panoramic view of her life, experiencing every moment and its impact on others. This allowed her to comprehend the profound significance of love and compassion. Upon returning to her physical form, Mary brought back a deep understanding of the power of love and the eternal nature of the soul. Her experience inspired her to share this profound message with others, emphasizing the transformative power of love and its enduring presence in our lives. Deceased rising. In India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh, a remarkable event in the city of Azamgarh left everyone shocked. An elderly man was pronounced deceased, and preparations were underway for his funeral rites. However, in a shocking turn of events, the old man who had been declared lifeless miraculously returned to life. This unexpected occurrence stunned all who witnessed it. Clearly feeling hungry and thirsty, he asked for some food and drinks. As you can see, he is eating while lying on the wooden pyre that had been prepared for his cremation. Kenyan awakening.
A Naivasha man threw mortuary attendants into a panic, forcing them to flee the morgue when he suddenly woke up, although he had been presumed dead.
A startling incident in Naivasha, Kenya caused significant alarm when a man, declared deceased by the hospital, miraculously regained consciousness after more than 20 hours. He was found sitting on the hospital bed, surrounded by his shocked loved ones and terrified hospital staff. His family had mourned his loss and left him at the mortuary, only for him to awaken hours later. Clearly disoriented and startled by his surroundings, the man immediately ran from the morgue while calling for help. The sudden and unexplained nature of this event left everyone involved in a state of shock and confusion. Texas man.
I'm a cancer survivor. I just got through battling cancer 2 months prior to that, to catching the COVID.
Gabriel Menchaca's life took an unexpected and challenging turn when he contracted COVID-19, ultimately leading to a remarkable story of survival and resilience. Just 2 months after overcoming cancer, Menchaca found himself battling the virus as one of the early cases in Brazos County, Texas. The virus took a severe toll on his body, causing both of his lungs to collapse, and he was placed in a coma for nearly a month. Meanwhile, the virus also affected his family members, with his mother, brother, and sister falling ill. Emerging from this harrowing experience, Menchaca faces the uncertainty of how COVID-19 will impact his long-term health. While his body may not be as strong as it once was, his spirit remains unbroken. He has learned to appreciate the preciousness of life and the strength of the human will.
It's very much real. That's all I can say is no, it's very much real. And they don't know how real it is until it hits home. And believe me, it hit home hard for us. My mom caught it, my brother caught it, and my sister caught it.
Unexpected uprising. Funeral parlor workers in Shanghai, China were left in shock after an unexpected turn of events. 2 morgue workers noticed something unusual as they pulled a body out of a hearse. They observed movements that caught their attention and cautiously approached the bag. Upon cutting open the bag, they were astonished to discover that the person inside was still alive. The workers stepped back in disbelief, repeatedly pointing at the individual in shock. Narrow escape.
I don't think I'll ever be 100%, but I'm certainly not dead.
Tom's remarkable journey challenges our understanding of life and its complexities. In a shocking incident in May 2015, Tom was declared deceased and his body was prepared to be placed in a morgue drawer.
Revive me, he's dead. Call the morgue and pack him up and take him out.
Firefighters found him in a state of cold rigidity, leading to the decision to transport him to the morgue. However, in a stunning turn of events, Tom began breathing and moving on his own just before his body was about to be moved. This unexpected development left everyone in shock and prompted an immediate rush to the hospital. Tom remained unconscious for 3 weeks, and upon waking, he faced severe nerve conditions that he had not had before. Despite the ongoing challenges he faces, Tom's story has brought attention to the need for a re-evaluation of procedures within the Milwaukee Fire Department. His experience serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility and mystery of life. Miraculous rescue.
I was moving the ladder and I went to pull it back and I felt like it was like a tase, but just so much more electricity.
In a heart-stopping twist of fate, 20-year-old construction worker Michael Pruitt found himself in a perilous situation. While working alongside his stepfather at a construction site, a sudden surge of electricity coursed through his body, causing him to collapse. The culprits were live wires and a metal ladder, a dangerous combination that left Michael in a critical state. He was rushed to the hospital, where medical staff faced the daunting challenge of managing the situation. Michael had to be held down as the electrical current continued to flow through him, creating uncertainty about his chances for survival. The doctors approached the situation with caution, well aware of the slim odds they were up against. However, in an inspiring display of determination, the local hospital doctors chose to defy the odds. With unwavering resolve, they fought to bring Michael back, employing all their skills and knowledge. Against all expectations, their relentless efforts succeeded, and Michael was brought back from a brink that many thought he would not return from.
Young boy who's dead coming in. EMS
never got a pulse back with their CPR and their medicine they gave them.
Subscriber's pick. Born in 1904 in London, England, Dorothy's life took a remarkable turn when, at the age of 3, she tumbled down the stairs and stopped breathing. However, in a moment that defies belief, she mysteriously revived, and this incident seemed to trigger a series of inexplicable events. Dorothy developed an insatiable fascination with ancient Egypt, and she claimed to have extraordinary and detailed knowledge of Egyptian history, hieroglyphics, and customs. She even went so far as to claim that she was the reincarnation of an ancient Egyptian priestess, Seti. Despite having no formal training in Egyptology, Dorothy's encounters with renowned Egyptologists and archaeologists led to even more astonishment. Her descriptions of ancient Egyptian sites, rituals, and customs were often eerily accurate, and she made significant contributions to the field of Egyptology. Dorothy worked at the Temple of Seti Wast in Abydos, and the mysterious events that surrounded her life continue to fascinate and intrigue those who study her story.